Sorry.
That's all right. So, all right. So this is live. We call this Stormfront Freaks Raw. This is Raw because you are watching or tuning into the recording of the show. And so what we end up doing is we always edit these things up and upload the audio podcast, which will be made available. But if you're watching, it's raw because we're not editing any of this out. You never know what crazy thing Maz might say, or we've got Brad Harris here. We don't know what Brady's alter ego might say or do. So we always got to keep an eye on that. Yeah. But this is episode 150. We've got Jamie Winterstern. Is that how you pronounce the last name?
Yes. Winterstern.
Okay. So Jamie's with us, and Jamie's a director of an upcoming film we're all looking forward to called Supercell. So we're gonna get the chance to talk to Jamie a little bit and find out really what goes into making a film, and especially a storm disaster flick, storm chasing flick. You're preaching to the choir here, Jamie. We got a bunch of weather geeks that are kind of in the same boat as you as far as loving this kind of stuff, and certainly look forward to hearing what goes into that. So, So here's what we'll do. So we got everybody on. We'll go ahead and I'm going to start with just doing kind of a little pre-intro, recording that we'll do, that we'll edit into the show, and then we'll start the opening, and then we'll introduce our co-hosts that are here tonight, find out what they're drinking, and then, Greg is not here. Where is Greg? I thought we were missing somebody.
I'll text him.
You have his text?
No. I thought
I'll
I did.
text him. I don't have it, but I'll text him.
He's stuck in the convoy.
Apparently.
That's right.
Stuck in the sleep machine.
That too.
Is there there's an outbreak going on right now, right? In like Mississippi, Alabama. Is that true?
There's some storms.
Yes.
We had some come through, actually Atlanta just about 10 minutes ago. Some pretty good ones.
But there was, you guys are saying there was a tornado in Alabama, huh?
Oh.
Yep. Who was talking about that? Garrett? Dan? You guys were on that.
Yeah, there was a tornado in progress earlier.
Okay. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm not sure where Greg is, but we will have... Curtis said he messaged Greg. So did I. We'll tag team. But so here's what we'll do. Maz, you have the agenda, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll have you do the intro.
Sure.
We'll do the intro, and then we'll kind of basically spend some time just talking to Jamie a little bit, talking about obviously what came up with the idea. He obviously did some storm chasing. Really, I want to find out more because we don't have a release date on this yet, correct, Jamie?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
We're still in post.
So questions really what I would want to hear and what I think a lot of our listeners would want to hear is the little bit of the premise of the movie, what it's about, but really finding out what goes into it, the effects and the ideas and how you try to make those come into reality and just kind of all that kind of stuff. And I think that would be cool, right? Would everybody agree that finding out what goes into making that kind of a movie?
Yeah.
Sure.
Would be awesome. Certainly we can learn a little bit about some of the characters in the movie, but I think we'll avoid talking about any of the actors or actresses in the movie at this point. So just kind of keep it focused more on the movie itself. Does that work, Jamie?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool. All right. So anybody got any questions? We'll send our VIPs back to the green room for now, and then we'll bring you guys back when we go to break. But I'll do my quick pre-opening. So Maz, you're now going to do the intro of Jamie after we find out what everybody's drinking.
Got it.
We'll go to about maybe bottom of the hour with questions, and then I'll do a quick drive weather plug before we go to a break. And then we'll come back, finish with a few more questions with Jamie, and do our lightning round game show with Jamie. Exciting.
Jamie,
you're going to like this one.
A little bit.
Being in the movies. You're gonna like this one I got tonight, so it'll be fun.
Well, if it's about storms, I might, I feel like I know a little bit more about film than storms, but I do know a little bit about storms. I've done, the last few years, I've done quite some research on it. So
it's not about storms.
It's about cats. It's about cats. Don't worry.
Probably.
By the way, I will say this: not expecting Maz to be here tonight. Maz, belated happy birthday! Did you see your shadow yesterday?
I did. Did you hear the New Jersey groundhog died before?
Yes.
Oh,
Like,
No.
What the heck does that mean? What does that mean? Yeah,
never got a
continual
chance to
winter.
Yeah. Bad news.
Crazy. All right, here we go. I'm going to do the pre-intro. 3, 2. Hey, what's up, Storm Freaks? It's Phil. And this episode, it's all about what goes into creating a tornado disaster movie. We're in the studio with Jamie Winterstern, the director of the upcoming storm-chasing film Supercell. And we'll share our hashtag WeatherFools this week and some WX resources for you. And wait, there's more on episode 150 of the Stormfront Freaks podcast. All right.
Woo, 150.
Nice. 150.
I like that it's one. My lucky number is 15, so I don't know if that's
Wow.
This is 10 times better than that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
like the synchronicity going on.
This is good. All right.
On the
So
quick math there, Phil.
every
Remember, everybody, be close to your mics when you talk.
Yep.
Okay.
When you have to talk, go to your mic.
150 episodes, and we're still.
Okay.
If you
working
need
on
to,
that.
and if you're not talking for a while, feel free to mute yourself too.
Yes.
So we're not picking up any background noise.
Once
But
again, 150 episodes.
I know, and I'm still trying to get my.
How does
audio
this
better.
thing work again? Am I on? Am I on?
All right,
Can
here
I,
we go.
Can I say one quick thing?
Absolutely.
So I was reviewing on YouTube your past guests. I may be wrong, but I think the most viewed guest you've had is Jim Cantori. Am I wrong?
Now, Ginger Z,
Boy,
Janice Dean.
No, it actually, I think. Gosh, I can't think.
in total, maybe because he's been on several times. But
Yeah, I think our one of our biggest episodes
Wasn't Reed
is actually
Timmer, wasn't
Warren
it?
Madden.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Is Warren Madden, but I think like recently one of our biggest episodes was why can't I think of her name now? Weather Channel works with Jim.
Oh, Stephanie Abrams?
Stephanie.
Oh, yeah,
Stephanie
yeah.
Abrams.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she does a lot of that kind of stuff.
Hey, Phil.
Anyway, you were saying.
Quick
Yeah.
question. So in the intro, I see it has Alec's name. Should I not say his name?
Oh, I mean, we can say he's in the movie, right, Jamie? Are you?
Yeah,
you
no,
okay?
it's guys, it's public. It's the
Got it.
movie.
Okay.
Movie's
We're
been
just
press
not
released.
going to be asking a bunch of questions about him and working with
Yeah,
him.
now's not the best time for that.
Yeah.
I just
Right.
didn't want you to be like, oh yeah, we haven't decided if we're going to keep him in.
You may not make it. Yeah. Right.
Right out of there.
All right, so Jamie, I interrupted you. So you saw that Jim Cantori was potentially one of the biggest.
Yes, I saw. I think I didn't scroll all the way down, probably to episode 1, but it seemed like he had the highest view count, and then next was obviously Reed Timmer.
Yeah.
But Cantori is legendary. I mean, I grew up going to Florida during the summertime, and every time one of those hurricanes would roll through, I'd be just excited to see him in the middle of those winds and just reporting, Cat 3, Cat 4.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Come on, I grew up watching Kim.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks
just
a
kidding.
lot, man.
Cantori was
Probably
in
right.
class today. He cursed
She was
us.
5 years old on the Weather Channel.
Right, because
I know.
Maz was
I
still a
was
child
young
at
as
30. That's why.
Right.
He's a
Wow.
big ass kid. All right, here we go. We are coming in 3, 2. Hey, welcome everybody to the most entertaining weather podcast. This is the award-winning Stormfront Freaks podcast. Thanks to our Patreon members that help support the show. Those of you that are joining us live tonight as well. It's great having you on board. We also have our VIPs here back in the green room. I see Josh and Curtis is there, and of course in the green room we've got Dan, Garrett, and Angela. I actually had I don't know if all you guys know this, was just 2 weekends ago, was at the National Storm Chaser Summit near Oklahoma City. and actually had a chance to meet one-on-one finally with Dan and Angela. Had a chance to see both of them, and Dan won second place for best storm chase vehicle. So that was
Awesome.
kind of cool as well.
Congratulations.
Right behind the Stormfront Freaks van, right, Phil?
I didn't enter it. I knew we'd win.
No
I
magnets.
wanted to give everybody else an opportunity.
All right.
Yeah, it was funny. It was incognito because it looked like a minivan because I forgot to bring the magnets to throw on the side. But tell you what, you guys can also join us and our team at patreon.com/Stormfront Freaks and be live in the chat or on the show with our guests. You all know it's unless this is the first time you're listening to us, it's always happy hour. Every night we record. Gives us a chance to have a good time, let you know we're here to have fun, but also gives us a chance as we find out what everybody's drinking for you to know who's here tonight. So we're going to go around the horn. I always try and start off up in Minnesota with our Skywarn coordinator, MJ. What are you drinking tonight?
Hey, I think I might have had this last time because I still had some in the refrigerator. It is from Urban Growler Brewing Company here in St. Paul. The what is it? Tangled Tinsale Amber Ale.
Nice.
It's very good.
Isn't that also known as Kraken in a can?
Yeah, no, not this time. No.
MJ, that is the same beer from last time, right? 2 weeks ago. This is a different beer.
No, it's a new
You didn't
beer.
keep it? Okay, great. Just wanted to make sure.
It's a little flat.
Yeah.
All right, Maz, our former on-camera meteorologist in Cincinnati. Maz, what are you drinking?
I got the Braxton Storm Golden Cream Ale. It's good. You
Ah.
can't see it very well. It disappears, but good stuff.
Good
Storm.
name.
That is good stuff. I like that. All right, and then we have Brady. I'm sorry, Brad Harris, Brady's alter ego, our atmospheric science grad from Ohio State. Brad, I'm afraid to ask you what you're drinking tonight.
You know, I'm having some Bullet, and Brad is like the typical, person who knows nothing about the weather, who's always like, what's a watch or a warning? So that's who Brad is. But I'm having some Bullet bourbon tonight. Keeping it real.
It's good stuff.
I can't wait to hear what your questions for Jamie are going to be tonight.
Yeah, really.
And then we've got Kim, our former on-camera meteorologist at the Weather Channel. Kim, welcome back. What are you drinking?
Hey, thanks, you guys. Well, first, Who Day. I don't know if you can see.
Yes.
All right, Bengals
there you
to
go.
the Super Bowl. Woo!
Nice.
I'm old enough to remember the last time they were in the Super Bowl. So anyway, but I am drinking red wine. So it's a typical Radius Eclipse, and I'm drinking it out of a beer mug, but it has the Bengals on it. So anyway, that's what I'm drinking.
Very good. Kim, I'll tip your mic up a little bit so it's like pointed at your mouth and not pointing down. I think we did that last time, and it was
And
a
then
little
tip
better.
your glass
I think there's something wrong with it.
And tip your
It won't
glass.
stay.
Chicken glass, exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll work on that. You go ahead.
Cool. All right. And then I think we've got everybody except our guest tonight. So Maz, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce our guest.
Excellent. We've
You
got
guys
Jake.
you're not gonna ask me what I'm drinking.
We will.
Ooh.
We will. But since you're like a bull in a china shop here with the microphone, what are you drinking?
I'm a tequila snob, so I have Ocho and Añejo.
Ooh.
Is a new bottle today?
It's this is what I had in my fridge. It's funny. I was driving home today and I was wondering, well, what should I drink tonight? And I was thinking about Dos Hombres, which is a mezcal. I don't know if you're familiar with it. The Breaking Bad cast, Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul came up with it, and I really love it. And then of course, 1 minute later, there was a radio ad for Dos Hombres. I've never heard a radio ad before, and it literally happened 1 minute after I thought, should I be drinking Dos Hombres? So I don't know what's going on, if there was like bugs in the car or what's going on with technology these days, but I thought that was a little weird.
It's weird.
Wow. That's
Oh,
impressive.
tequila. Wow. Do you drink shots? Are you doing shots? What are you doing?
No, it's a sipping.
Okay. All right.
The tequila I drink, it's a sipping tequila. I don't think I've done a shot of tequila since college.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Okay.
that might need to change in the game show. We'll see.
You got a worm in the bottom of that one? No.
No.
Hey, Jamie, we're glad you're with us, no matter how much you've had here today.
College.
Just to let you know. Jamie Winterstern is the director and co-writer, both, of the upcoming storm disaster film Supercell, starring Alec Baldwin. Now, Jamie became one of the youngest to direct, edit, and produce an NBC primetime drama series, Siberia. Jamie, we're glad to have you tonight. And I got to ask you this. What was the whole beginning thought, the very first thought of Supercell? How does this come into your mind? What were you doing? And like, what made you say, like, I got to make this?
I've been going to Florida my whole life. My family had we had an apartment there. I'm originally from Montreal. So if you know Montreal, it's cold. And during the winter time, you'd call them snowbirds. We would travel to Florida, for basically winter time and whenever it got cold. And I just watched lightning. I was obsessed with lightning growing up. Florida is the lightning state of the world, of the country. And I was fascinated by lightning. And as I got older, I always figured, that was it. Seeing a thunderstorm over the ocean was like the apex of a storm experience. And then I had friends that were from the Midwest, and they were like, have you ever seen a storm in Texas? Have you ever seen a storm in Oklahoma? I said, no, but I've seen storms in Florida. They're nice. And they're like, you have no idea. So I 3 years ago, I was thinking, I want to go tornado chasing. I really got to try this out. I got to figure this out. So I went online and I started looking up these tour companies, and I stumbled upon a few of them, and one of them was Tempest Tours. And I found a contact number, or I think I emailed them. And, the tours are kind of expensive. They go for a few $1,000s a week to go on these tours. And, for me, I didn't know better. I figured, that seems a lot of, pretty expensive. So I just contacted Kim George works there. And I asked her about, I don't know if I have like $3,000-4,000 to spend, but, could you give me any advice so I don't kill myself, because I'm going to fly down there anyways and rent a car and figure it out. And she was very nice. She told me, why don't you contact my husband? He's in Arlington. And I was expecting a no, you're not going to pay our company, no information, but she gave us her husband's contact. And my fiance and we went to Arlington. We flew into Dallas, and, we set aside 4 days for chasing. We figured there was a severe storm, severe situation coming through over the next few days. I knew that much. And Steve George, her husband, geologist, sweetest guy. He gave us like 3 hours of his time in his office, and he gave us the breakdown of how to chase, basically how the HER works, how, all the websites work in terms of, tracking it, the ghost satellite being, once you figure out what the NAM nest is, then you figure out what the HER is. Then on the day you watch the satellite and you wait for the cumies to pop. And then when the cumies pop, then you figure out you look at the radar, and then and he gave all this information just out of the kindness of his heart. And, we established a beautiful relationship with them. But going back to the story, our first experience was in Ozona, and it was my fiance and we were in a rental car, and my first Supercell, it was like the HER had like one red dot at like 3 p.m. That was it. It was just, he said, go to Ozona at this time and you'll see what happens. And sure enough, we got there, and it was like unlike anything I ever seen. It was an atomic bomb of a situation. I saw the anvil from probably 20 miles away. And as we got closer, it just got bigger and bigger. And from that moment on, I was hooked. I knew something was special with storm chasing.
Did you ever see a tornado?
That's a tricky question. What do you classify a tornado? Because I saw some dust spin-ups that I would say, oh, that's a tornado. But I guess a seasoned chaser would be like, I don't think I would call that a tornado. That might have been like a EF0. I believe I've seen tornadoes before, but in all honesty,
EF0 is a tornado. It's a tornado.
Hey, that's more than I've seen. I haven't seen anything, so I mean, yeah.
Sure.
It's the sunglasses.
A dust devil.
Yeah, but to answer your question, I this is the very prolonged version of the story. the idea, where did it come from? So I that was my first chasing experience. I saw my first Supercell that night. I drove with some ignorance, because I didn't necessarily know what I was doing. I drove through a core at night, and my fiance and I punched the core, and we got to the backside of a Supercell, which I had no clue what that meant until I stopped and watched the light show that the backside of the Supercell produces. And and this is something just to note for later, because this is really cool, is I had a nice Sony camera with me. I was videoing and capturing a lot of stills of these storms, and actually some of this footage will be in the movie, which is really cool. But so after that week, I went, I think, a few weeks later with a friend. And then at that point, I said to myself, why haven't I seen a storm chasing movie? Like a real storm chasing movie, not necessarily a movie that was like a Roland Emmerich end of days type of situation where LA has tornadoes. A movie about the community and what happens every spring in Tornado Alley. And I thought to myself, well, I haven't seen a movie since Twister like that. That was in 1996. And I said, we're due for a movie that takes place in and around the community and the backdrop of storm chasing. And that's kind of where it was birthed.
And so you chose Montana.
Yes. So Montana was, I think, we were filming in May. So Oklahoma was off the table. Texas, Oklahoma, we're what you consider an independent film. When you think of what Twister was a blockbuster studio movie. Twister could afford to film in Oklahoma during storm season, and if they went offline for 2-3 days, well, that would cost them a lot of money, and they would just pick it back up a few days later. But for us, we had to play it safe. We had to find the plains that existed where you could see the horizon line miles and miles away, but we didn't want the risk of running into an actual severe weather event. So Montana, I know Montana gets theirs a little later in the season, June, July, but that was kind of a good place for us to film.
Is there a plan to use any CGI in this, like Twister?
So this is interesting. Twister, everyone here has seen Twister. I'm making that assumption. Okay, Twister. I love Twister. It's a classical film. Twister was all CGI. I think at the time it was state of the art. I'm still watching it. I enjoy it. Although, some people I've spoken to aren't necessarily, they don't know if the CGI is held up. But the only way we were able to approach having these storms feel as real as if you were there in person is using force perspective and actual stock shots of tornadoes and of supercells, wall clouds, weather events. And it's just tricking the eye and using real footage. So, CGI, I think if you have $100 million or you have a huge VFX budget, you can afford to maybe even think about producing that. But when you're an independent film, you got to find ways to cheat the eye, cheat the audience into believing something, because we couldn't afford Twister CGI. In today's world, I have no clue how much that would cost, but you will be very impressed with how effective finding the right shot of a tornado and basically comping it in using force perspective for what we would shoot in Montana with a plate to make it, to thinking that actually happened while we were filming. I was very impressed with how that worked.
How do you do that with the force perspective?
So, basically everything is pretty much boarded. So for instance, if you have a shot of, let's say you're in a car and you're driving toward a storm, let's call it a supercell, nice structure, wall cloud, and you're shooting through the windshield. Now you might have a blue sky on that day. You might have an overcast day, and you shoot the plate. And then what you do is you go through a lot of footage. Thankfully, there's a lot of very talented storm aficionados and photographers and filmmakers that have shot great footage of storms over the last 20 plus years. And what you do is you find the right perspective that feels like that's around the same distance where I think the storm would be from where the camera is. That looks like the violent nature of, you got to be careful because the movie's about 2 hours long. So you don't want to blow your wad in the first, 20, 30 minutes. You want to work your way up to, the climax of the film. So you find the right storm with the right distance and the right lighting, and then you'll be surprised. It doesn't take a lot of work for our VFX team and our animators to basically comp those two shots together, and with just very subtle coloring and some particles to kind of blend in the two different shots. You'd think it's one frame, one shot.
Jamie, you got to be careful using the terms "blow your wad" and climax with this group.
It's going to end up on my TikTok if we're not careful.
MJ, do you have a name for the
You
show
guys
now?
went there.
I got a name for the show.
You guys went there, not me.
Well, you guys, it's Phil. What are you talking about?
I think everybody went there.
So Jamie, what is it like being like a director? So basically are you in the shot controlling, hey, I think this looks good, I don't think that looks good, and how do you have to kind of imagine, since you are using these forced place shots, kind of what it would look like? Like, I'm assuming you're probably a very visual person, right?
Yes, you have to be. I mean, that's the craft. You're basically you're telling a story with a camera. It's all visual, and the thing is, directing. I went to film school. I studied film. I've been a lover of film since I was a kid, and there's so much education you can do, but when you're out there and you get onto set, things happen, things change. You have to be able to adapt to things, and as long as you come from a place like, a passionate place and a place of that feels right. It's all instinctual, I guess. The best way I can put it. Trust your instincts, because when you're on set and you have 100 people there, and time is money, and every second is the difference between you getting that shot you really want and not getting it. You got to make such quick decisions. So you just have to have the confidence and be able to live with every decision you make. And listen, nothing's perfect. This is my first film. I do think I made a lot of mistakes, but I do think that at the end of the day, I'm very proud of what we accomplished. And I think the audience, not just the storm chasing community, but the world is going to be very excited. I hope they're going to enjoy the film as the way that we produced it, and we're going to deliver it.
Did you have any? Did you use any kind of meteorological consultative service, or any meteorologists join in with you?
I've been very fortunate. I wanted to do this right, and it's interesting because there's this balancing act you have to do, where you want to be truthful to the community. You want to get things right. You want to have the right lingo. You want to make sure that it makes sense scientifically, but you also have to remember you're making a movie. And I like I said, I was very fortunate. I started off by having a tremendous relationship with Steve and Kim George, who are very close with Martin Licious. They work with Martin Licious and Tempest Tours. They were very integral. They supported the movie from the beginning. Val Castor, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Val and Amy Castor up in Oklahoma. They gave us, they chaperoned us on a chase after Principal, where I was able to get more footage of the planes and get the actual vehicles in the same landscape and the skies as the storms. So they were tremendous. I've also was very close with Skip Talbot, who I know was a guest on the show. Hank Shima, who is awesome. He's been a huge supporter. I'm actually going to be using a lot of his footage in this movie. when we were talking about like what kind of footage are we going to be comping in, a lot of Hank's supporting us in that way. So there was, I attended Tessa 2 years ago, and I met some really special people. Roger Edwards, I think he's a legendary forecaster, right? And some other people through Martin and the community. And I just, the reason I wanted to make the film isn't just to make a disaster movie. There's a lot of big, action films. What the movie you'll find out is more about is family and community, and the storm chasing community. And that's something I picked up on the very first trip I went storm chasing in Texas. That night, we ended up at a bar somewhere in Ozona or Iran, Texas. And I thought we were completely screwed because it was late. We were in the middle of nowhere. We go into this bar, and I see so many people with their laptops open, sharing stories, showing imagery of what they had shot. And I was like, this is so warm. This is cozy. This is special. This is a movie. And I've tried to be as close as possible to the storm chasing community because they've been very helpful in supporting it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jamie, we've got totally different weather than what we've been talking about here in the Midwest. We're dealing with all kinds of sleet and snow tonight. So I'm looking forward to those kind of storms personally.
Yes.
But I'll tell you what, with the Drive Weather app, you always know the weather along your route, right? It's like a GPS, and it tells you the weather along your route, what it's going to be at the time you're getting to that point, which is so cool because you can say, I'm driving from Angela tonight. She's down in Texas. She's got to drive to Indiana in a couple days. She could pop that in Drive Weather app, and it will tell her if you leave at this time, it'll show you here's what the weather is going to be like along your route as you're getting to those different points. And it's so cool because if you see some bad weather, you got a little slider at the bottom, and you can adjust that departure slider to say, well, what if I delay myself maybe 3 hours? What's the weather going to be like now? And you might find out weather is going to be much better along your route if you wait 3 hours to leave, as opposed to if you leave now and you find out you're going to be stuck in traffic and bad weather for 3 to 5 hours, right? That's what's so great. And the free version of Drive Weather, it allows up to an 850-mile trip. Once you try it once, you're going to want to keep it all year long. It's the official travel app of Stormfront Freaks podcast. Again, that's the Drive Weather app, and you can find out more at driveweatherapp.com, or just go ahead and download it from Google or your Apple Store. We're going to be right back. We're going to take a little break and go ahead and grab another drink. We'll be back with Jamie and more talk of Supercell.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great job.
So
Everybody welcome Matt Foley to the group. Thanks for joining us, Matt.
Welcome.
Hey,
And
Matt.
Greg.
White balance.
Greg.
It's like,
White balance.
he's like pushing his hair up and everything.
Great.
Were we driving an 18-wheeler? What's going on?
Okay, so I'm actually out on the west coast of Vancouver Island right now, and I was photographing a different kind of storm. They get these like incredible low pressure systems hit the west coast, and you get the giant waves, like 60, 80 foot tall splash, like spray off them. It's pretty wild.
Nice.
Cool.
Greg, I was near you about a week ago. I was up there, but
Where were you? Seattle?
Vancouver. No,
Oh, you were in Vancouver.
Oh yeah.
They let you into Canada?
They did barely. I squeaked through.
Was it Brad or Brady that was there?
I'm
Which
not
one?
sure. It was one of the two. We're not sure.
Were you wearing your Axl Rose outfit when you went to Vancouver?
No. I feel
I
like
saw
they
the
wouldn't
movie
let me
Split.
All right, so Jamie, what we like to do during our breaks, we bring our VIPs in. I know you've met Dan Wallace at Tessa before, but we also have Garrett and Angela here. We just like giving them a chance to maybe ask you some questions as well. We don't normally put these on the show, but if there's a good one, we'll steal it and use it in the second half.
Okay.
Hint,
Sure.
hint. So go ahead, guys, if you got something for Jamie.
I do have some more questions, but I might wait until
you're gonna get me live. You're waiting.
Exactly.
I guess I've got one.
Okay, Garrett.
With it being a while since we had a good storm chasing movie, I know we had like Into the Storm and 13 Minutes, but I think, once everybody kind of saw the fire tornado and Into the Storm, it kind of killed that for a lot of people. We kind of use Twister as basically the benchmark. Do you feel a lot of pressure to, to live up to that, or, bring something special to the modern age, I guess you'd say, or present day?
I feel pressure just regardless of putting out a good film and just making sure that I'm doing the best I can. I mean, regardless, but yeah, I will say this. Twister went, I was very aware that this was going to be kind of the first potentially big one since Twister. But then I don't know if you were looking at the trades, and maybe this was a year or two ago, but Twister announced a reboot. And then I said to myself, well, they're rebooting it. They have the pressure to try and one up the original. I'm just going to sneak in there with my own version, and they can handle the pressure. But yeah, I did feel it originally that, I had big shoes to fill because, it's a tornado film, but we all remember the characters. I mean, we had some remarkable actors, Bill Paxton, Helen Hunt, Philip Seymour Hoffman, very memorable cast of characters. So of course those are big shoes to fill.
Right.
Got a quick question. I don't know if you remember me. I was selling the hats and had the drone. We were talking about drones, and I wasn't sure if you ended up using any drone footage in your film.
So that's interesting. We are not using one drone shot in the movie, surprisingly so. Everything. The big thing with this film that was important to me was to get really the perspective from the people in the situations. And, I understand that, the drone footage gives you kind of a big godlike perspective of what's going on. But for this film, I wanted it to, I don't want to say the word documentary because that is not at all the style or tone of this movie. It's very classical. It has, feels of Spielberg, Ron Howard, Zemeckis, kind of the old, more formal ways of movie making with the camera. But we actually, we kept the perspective with our characters. So we never ended up using any drones in it. I hope that doesn't disappoint you, Dan. I apologize.
It probably does a little, but he'll still watch your movie, I'm sure.
I'll sleep well tonight.
Angela, you got a question? Or are you good right now?
I guess my question would be how do you feel like, have you been accepted to the storm chasing community? Like, has there been anyone who's like kind of just rolled their eyes at you and just been like, whatever? Or has there been welcoming and stuff?
I feel I don't know, that maybe this is my experience and it's different for other people, but I feel like I've been completely welcomed. I don't know if I've had this privileged experience because I've been veiled with Martin and Tempest Tours and Kim and Steve George, and if that kind of made it an easier pill to swallow. I don't know. All I know is that every person I've spoken to, storm chaser, or whether I was chasing and then I've dealt with people in the field, everyone's been very warm and supportive and friendly. So it's been nothing but a good experience.
That's good because some of us are Italian and we know people. Okay, so you just tell us who.
Maybe put in a good word for me, Jamie. I'm shunned from the community, so I'm trying to work my way back. I think it was something I said.
You have to go storm chasing first, Brad. That's
a good
step
point.
one.
That's a good point.
Step one.
Brad,
I'm going to continue to give you crap until you show up in May.
Haven't gone. Planning on going in May.
Wait, Brad hasn't been storm chasing yet?
No, Brad has not been storm chasing. Hasn't seen a tornado.
If I had to pick one person out of the group of people here, I would say Brad is the one who hasn't been storm chasing. I don't know if it's like the bandana, the bedroom. I don't know.
Could it be the ankle bracelet there, Brad? That's why you can't leave the room.
We don't like to show that here. We don't like to show that.
What happened to you?
Not really.
You got to see the TikTok, Kim. It's all about TikTok.
I saw it.
Oh, okay.
Is
I'm
that
sorry
your-
then if you
is that
saw
your
it, Kim.
mom's
I apologize.
No, it's not my mom's bedroom. Get out of here, Greg. Move the furniture out of my apartment, okay?
All right, we're gonna keep rolling here. So we'll go ahead and I'll bring it back in. I'll ask a question of Jamie, and then we can keep doing some questions here. We'll give it maybe 10 more minutes, 15 at the most. Jamie, are you doing all right time wise? Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine to fill the hour.
Okay. So we'll go maybe 10, 15 minutes or so, and then in the chat, I'll go ahead and announce when we're going to take a break to the lightning round. And we'll do the lightning round, and then we'll close up with Jamie before we get into the third segment.
Hey, quick question. Did anybody ask Jamie the budget question?
No.
Okay, that's mine.
Okay.
I asked it first, Greg.
It's a race.
Bad Brad.
It's a race. All right, so here we go. We are coming back. 3, 2. All right, welcome back, everybody. Here with Supercell director Jamie Winterstern. Jamie, the one thing we haven't talked about, I know there's not officially a release date yet. You're currently in post-production, which might be interesting to learn kind of what process you're in right now post-production wise. But tell us a little bit about the movie. Like, what's the premise of the movie? What's it about? What do we have to get excited about?
Well, without giving too much away, I got to be very careful, right? Because there's no release date. We're still, in the makings of it. What I can say is that, if Twister was really about the scientists, we think back to 1996. It was a focus on the science. What has changed in the last 25 years? Supercell kind of deals more with the tourism aspect of storm chasing, and also kind of the comparing of, do we chase for knowledge or do we chase for thrills? And I think that's sometimes an important question to ask ourselves.
What's I know there's already been little snippets about the movie. I assume that's released information.
Oh yeah, I guess the shortest, quickest one I could give is, it's really a coming of age story about a boy who loses his father and to storm chasing. His father's a legendary storm chaser named Bill Brody, and years later he runs away to the Midwest to rendezvous with some of his father's old colleagues to learn more about who his father was and his birthright. And he ends up discovering, a lot. And that's all I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you pick the name Bill in honor of Bill Paxton?
It's funny. Like I said, when I originally was broaching the subject of trying to put together a movie, a tornado film, I was definitely inspired by Twister. The initial thought was, what if I wrote a spec sequel to Twister? What would have become of Joe and Bill Harding? That was the character names in the film. And unfortunately, Bill Paxton passed away. And so, what would that look like if, Bill and Joe Harding had a child? And what if Bill lost his life doing the thing he loved? What would happen to that son of his? How would the son, think of himself and his father? And that was the seed behind this new concept, Supercell.
I love that.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jamie, you mentioned that you're basically Ron Howard, Steven Spielberg, and kind of rolled all together in one. Your words. What about budget? Like, is the budget for this movie? Are we talking like in the $500 million budget kind of deal? Like,
first off, let me correct by saying I am inspired and greatly influenced by those directors. I grew up watching their films, and I think of the world of them. And of course, there's nobody that's going to replace Steven Spielberg.
Jamie, we haven't seen your film yet. Let's hold our horses here, right?
We're talking about potentially the greatest living director of all time. it's interesting because I got to be careful. You think of the films I grew up watching, and I'm sure everyone here watched, you know, the Indiana Jones, the E.T.s, the Back to the Futures, the movies that were, you could be 8 years old, you can be 70 years old, you're going to have a fun adventure. Yeah. I don't see those films anymore. And, you know, those films also were studio movies. They had at the time, maybe there was 50 to 100 within 100 million. With inflation, we're talking about Marvel level budgets. So how do you create something with that same panache on a small indie budget? And when I talk about small indie budget, $5 million might seem like a lot of money, but you know, if you're making a very small character drama that's all shot in one location, that's a lot of money. But when you're making a tornado film and you're driving across country, cross state, and you gotta basically recreate these marvels, these wonders, the cumulonimbus, the supercell structure, the tornado, the rain, the wind, that money goes quick. So I hope I can just have if I could just have a percentage of what those guys did back in the 80s, I'll be very happy.
What's the biggest cost? What's the biggest cost of budget?
The biggest cost of the budget. That's interesting. This, you know, I'm not the producer. You're asking the wrong guy.
Come on, you've done it all.
The money.
Yeah, money. I will say, you know, the probably the biggest cost is probably transportation. You know, you don't think about what goes into making a film. All the crew, all the equipment, everyone moving from the hotel to set, you know, wrapping a location in one city, going to another, you know, moving around. That's a huge cost. And, you know, you have a village that you basically plant in as little as a day. Then you have to uproot the village and move it, you know, cross town. Like the movement, the transportation of a movie is I would say is one of the most expensive things.
I got one more for you here real quick. So what was the worst day that you had while filming this?
Oh, it's let me think. You know, there was one day where the water truck would not work. I don't know what happened. Maybe apparently there was the inside the truck was rusted. So there was pieces of metal that blocked the sprinkler system from giving us actual rain in the scene. And we had to sit in idle for probably 3 hours waiting for a new water truck to come and replace the old water truck. And that was one of the more important days of filming. I can't give too much details on what that day was about. Maybe on the next time I come on, we'll get, you know, into the more fun stories where I can say a lot more about all that. But I
tease.
But I will say, yeah, the water truck kind of breaking down on us would definitely suck. And I will say, this is funny. So we as storm chasers or just, you know, aficionados in storms, we love lightning, right? Lightning is exciting. It's gorgeous. I photograph lightning. I love lightning. But on a film set, lightning is one of the greatest hazards. Yeah. And if there's a lightning strike within, I think, 10 miles, you have to shut down production for a half an hour. Wow. And that's huge because you only have so much time to make your days. So if you get a lightning strike and you're down for a half an hour, that could be 2 to 3 shots that you were planning on getting. So I think on that same day the water truck didn't work, we also had a lightning strike in Montana that shut us down in addition. So we lost
the perfect storm.
Well, hey, that's on that cue. Yeah, that's the sound, Jamie. It is time for our lightning round, which is our game show of flashy and brilliant questions we always play with our guest. Tonight, you're going to love this one. You're a film director, and due to the timing of our recording tonight, we're going to play one tonight. It's called Groundhog Day Movie Facts or Fuck Knows.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. So basically, this is going to be. I'm going to give you 3 potential facts of the movie Groundhog Day. Have you guys all seen Groundhog Day? Bill Murray. You'll be good at this then.
Watched it. Yeah.
It's like deja vu.
This show is starting to feel like that movie.
Wow.
So I'm gonna give you 3 potential true facts about the movie Groundhog Day, and you have to identify the one of those 3 facts that is true. 2 of them are fuck knows. Okay, so that's where we get the name. Really creative. I'm losing my creative touch. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give those 3, and then I'll go around the horn, Jamie, and we'll kind of touch base with each of the freaks. They can tell us which one they think is true, but you're going to come up with the final answer. They're just kind of maybe giving you some hints what they think it might be, but ultimately it's going to come down to you to decide which one is true. You ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go. So here are the first 3. Number 1, Bill Murray was bitten by the groundhog twice during shooting, which made him have to have an anti-rabies injection because the bites were so severe. So he got bit twice by the groundhog, and he had to have rabies injections. Second one, Harold Ramis, who was the director, originally wanted Michael Keaton for the lead role, but he decided against it, saying that Keaton was too recognizable as Batman. And then the third one is the original script had Phil, the character, looping for 5,000 years. All right, so one of those is correct. 2 of them are fuck knows. Brad Harris, I'm going to start with you. Which one do you think is the true statement?
I think it's the one where he gets the rabies. That just sounds, I don't know.
All right, Kim?
No, I think it's Michael Keaton. I think they wanted to use Michael Keaton.
All right. Greg, what do you think?
I just want it to be the rabies thing.
Yeah.
I don't even
Rabies.
I just want it to be that.
Yeah, I agree.
Maz, your thoughts?
I'll go with B.
Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton, yeah.
All right, MJ?
I'm going with Keaton.
Okay, Jamie, those are their thoughts. What do you think? What do you think is the true statement, true fact?
Well, I think that the Keaton thing is something that happens a lot in films where you get concerned about previous roles, so I'll go with B.
Wow.
Rabies!
Yeah, fuck no.
Rabies!
So the true answer was Bill Murray was bitten and had to have rabies shot. So that is true.
Oh, let's go, Greg.
Michael Keaton at one point was, I guess, considered for the role, but he passed on it because he didn't understand the script. It was Tom Hanks. It was Tom Hanks who was originally wanted to be the character Phil. And the original script had Phil looping for 10,000 years.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
No.
That would have been a long movie.
That's a long movie.
Too much. That would have been too much.
All right, good.
Wow.
We got another one here. All right. Here we go. Number 1, Puxatawney, Pennsylvania didn't have a town center that looked good on camera, according to co-writer and director Harold Ramis, so they shot in Michigan instead. Number 2, Bill Murray and Harold Ramis have both been honorary grand marshals for the Groundhog Day celebrations in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Number 3, there are exactly 17 days depicted in this film, either partially or in full. MJ, what do you think is the true statement?
I have no idea, but I'm going with they were grand marshals.
Grand marshals. All right. Brad.
Yeah, definitely Grand Marshals. That sounds most accurate to me. I don't
Okay.
even know what a Grand Marshal is, but
All right. Kim?
How do you take Brady serious?
you don't.
I think C.
17 days depicted in the film.
Yeah.
All right, Greg.
I'm going to go with Booger Brad, and I'm going to go with the Grand Marshal.
Grand marshals. All right, Maz.
The Grand Marshal seems safe, but I'm going to go with C. Just seems so obscure, like as a fact.
17. So it's basically 17 days depicted in the film, either partially or in full. Okay. All right, Jamie, comes to you. What do you think?
I do feel like they would be the Grand Marshals. I'll go with B.
That is correct. Good job. Well
Good job.
done. Well done. All right, last one. Here we go. Last one. Number 1, the store Lloyd's always seen in the background in the scenes where Phil Connors encounters Ned Ryerson, tried to sue the production for several $1,000s for lost business, and they were unsuccessful. Number 2, Harold Ramis kept Bill Murray's overcoat following the movie, which led to a massive falling out between the two friends and former Ghostbusters and Stripes co-stars, which would last, 20 years before Murray buried the hatchet on Ramis's deathbed. And the last one is, this is one of Gene Siskel's quote-unquote great movies. So, Maz, I'll start with you. Which one do you think is true?
Crap.
That's not an option.
Yeah.
Go with the rabies one.
The rabies.
So the Lloyd's store that sued because they lost several thousands of dollars during production. Harold Ramis and Bill Murray had a big falling out because Harold Ramis kept Bill Murray's character's
I'm gonna go
overcoat.
with that one just because it is the longest explanation.
Okay. All right. So we got that one. Greg, what do you think?
I'm going to go with the Lloyds.
Lloyd's? Okay.
Yeah.
Kim?
Whatever Brady says.
Okay, Brady, what do you say? Brad,
Yes,
sorry.
I've had my brother take my coat before, and I still haven't forgiven him. So I'm definitely going with number 2.
Okay.
Number 2 from me.
All right,
MJ?
Yeah, I think number 2 because that's like too long to make up. I think the Lloyd's one, they were maybe successful.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right. Jamie, there you go. Take it or leave it. What do you think?
I do recall that they had somewhat of a tumultuous relationship, so I think B is the answer.
Oh,
Dang.
That is incorrect. So the correct one is Lloyd's.
It
Okay.
is.
They did unsuccessfully sue production because they said they lost business during movie production. And it was not one of Gene Siskel's great movies. It was Roger Ebert's great movies. Okay. And so the second one is also not true because they did have a big falling out, and it was after this movie, but it wasn't because Harold kept Bill's overcoat, which is true. He kept the overcoat, but that wasn't what led to the falling out. They didn't get along during the whole movie. So,
oh gosh.
So yeah.
What was the middle thing again?
So good job, Jamie.
rabies.
1 out of 3. What are you talking about? Good
That wasn't
job.
bad.
I failed.
I got
Hey.
3 out of 3.
In baseball, that's you're in the major leagues. So
Jamie, do this. Tell us how can listeners follow you on social media and stay up to date on what's going on with the Supercell movie.
So I have an Instagram handle. It's HJW Films. That's at HJW Films. We also have a handle for the Brody Storm Tours company, which is Brody Storm Tours on Instagram. And that's it.
Cool. Very good. Well, I'll tell you what, we're all getting ready for chase season. And at helicity.co/SFF, they've got a huge selection of weather and storm-themed t-shirts and merchandise, including Stormfront Freaks shirts, beverage containers, and posters, stickers, everything. You can use those while you're chasing multiple days, right? Everyone knows when I told everybody, so we're going to go on a Stormfront Freaks chase trip here in May, and I told everybody to pack lightly. Like you're going to be wearing your clothes, right? Multiple days. It's just kind of how it works.
gross.
Yep. So Brad's out already. That's why he's never storm chased because
by, like, the river and stuff.
He's got to bring multiple suitcases when he's storm chasing.
I do.
But all you got to do is go to the exclusive site helicity.co/SFF to earn 5% off your entire order. And while you're there, click on the Brands tab to find all your Stormfront Freaks favorites, again at helicity.co/SFF. So, hey, it's time for our final break. We got some real dumbass hashtag weather fools coming up. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Jamie, you were trying to shirt in a few times, weren't you? I saw you trying to get Tessa in there. You're like, check out.
Well, I feel. Let me ask you: is it appropriate that I plug them, or is that something that has to be like okayed by the show?
No. No, Dan will just have to pay us a little bit more. That's all. We're okay.
I just listen. I told them that I feel like I plugged them when we were not on air right at the beginning, and I feel terrible right now. I feel like I owe it to them.
No.
At least
We're good.
No.
We're good. Yeah. So hey, Jamie, if you could do this, if you can leave a little plug for us and just say, hey, this is Jamie Winterstern, director of Supercell, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Yes, I can do that.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jamie Winterstern. I'm the writer-director of Supercell, and you're listening to Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Very good. All right. Good job.
Awesome. Wow, one take.
Pretty impressive.
Many people don't make it.
Unusual.
Yeah.
When we had Spielberg on, he did it. It took
Right.
Yeah, it was way more.
But he wasn't drinking tequila. You know?
True.
He was drinking something else.
He
All
did
right, hey,
mention
you
by
guys,
the way.
any of our VIPs, any more questions for Jamie before we let him go? Jamie, you're welcome to stay if you got another 10, 15 minutes. We're doing one more little segment, but if you got to go, I get it.
No, I have nowhere to go right now. I'll stay.
All right, you can stay.
Wait, are you married now?
Us neither.
So, all right, VIPs, any questions for Jamie? Any additional questions?
I think we
Are you
covered a
working
lot
on
of it.
anything coming up?
Oh yeah, actually, I'm in the process of writing another screenplay right now. It's actually a movie about seashells.
Oh,
That's my second passion.
Okay. It's called
First one was
Nautilus.
storms.
Do
Actually,
you like shark
this
teeth,
is,
Jamie, or just seashells?
I like treasure hunting. So when I go to Florida, it all comes back to my past. When I go to Florida, I always was I love beachcombing, and I love I didn't know about the southwest part of Florida, which apparently has the best shells in the world.
Yeah.
So I've been obsessed with doing that, and I know for a fact there's never been a movie about seashells. So that's the next one.
Jamie, I'm surprised that you're not planning or writing right now a show about a lovable alien that got left behind when his spaceship took off and was found by a young boy and his friends.
Was his name Elliot?
It was.
All right, VIPs, any other questions, VIPs? All right, so here's what we're going to do next. Our next segment, we're going to jump into Brady. You're introducing #WeatherFools.
Great.
All right, coming into a little Who.
Ooh, the Who.
So we got to find out who's got Weather Fools. I've got 4 of them, by the way.
I have 4.
Okay.
I have one.
So I guess we'll just let Phil
what's
and
a
MJ
weather
go
fool?
then.
You'll find out. You're going to find out, buddy.
You'll find out.
All right. So Phil, MJ, who else?
I got one.
I have one, but maybe it's
Okay.
too many.
That's all right. Let's load it up. Let's load it up.
Yeah, we'll load it up. Can you
All
hear
right, I have
audio when
one.
you share your screen on yours, or no?
Yes, you can.
You can. If you have just one, you can share a Chrome tab, and then you can check the little box. There's a little box shows up.
Okay, great.
And Greg, your audio's getting all staticky again.
Damn it.
It's from here.
All right, so we've got 5 people with Weatherfools. Fantastic.
I wasn't clear. Are you going to let me plug Testa again, or are you guys? Is that
Oh, I thought you did. You didn't? Okay. Yeah, we'll tell you what at the end. At the end, Tesla. No, when we get to the end, I'll because we thank you at the end. You can also say
Okay.
Do it then.
you can say you're going to be talking and all that good stuff.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, remind me how to
That
do
was the
this.
one. Yeah.
Oh God, Kim's trying to share her screen. We're going to be here all night. Oh,
I got
man.
mine and Brad's and Greg's.
Yeah, I'm working on mine.
I have
here.
3. I'm going to reshare mine. I'm sharing a different one.
Yeah, and I actually have 15 Weatherfools, so we might be here for a little while.
Is this an NFT? Is this a new NFT?
I think
No.
so.
What's that?
No.
What?
NFT.
Not for
This
television?
is this is an
Oh,
NFT right here. This is proprietary.
Oh, God.
This look right here is proprietary.
Okay.
That and the skeletons. I would buy a skeletons NFT.
negative
That's for
bit
sure.
point
Right
for
there.
that.
There you go.
That was
Kim,
hysterical.
if you made a
All
skeleton,
right. So Brady,
it would go viral.
Brady, you know who you're bringing up,
Yeah, we'll wing it.
and we got everybody on. MJ. Still waiting
I
on
got-
Kim's.
Yep.
Oh,
going-
do I need to do it right now? Okay. Let's
Yeah.
Yeah, share it
yeah.
now, and then
Okay,
MJ will
all right.
pull it up when you start talking about it.
Okay.
So I got mine and Phil's and Brad's and Greg's and. Oh wait, I just lost one of them.
Yeah, that's me. I had to do my audio. so
Okay.
there we go.
Do you see mine?
No.
150 episones, ladies and gentlemen. 150.
Three,
Oh,
I gotta go. This,
Groundhog Day.
that's
Okay. There we go. Now do you see
there
it?
it is.
Oh,
Okay.
way to go,
Now I
Kim
got it.
There we
Cunningham.
go.
Nice. Okay, and so Brad, it's all these can be seen on episode 150 show notes
Great.
at stormfrontfreaks.com. And then WX Resources.
Yes, sir.
Greg, how's your audio?
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, you're still kind of crackly.
Crackly.
How about this? I'll play my weather fool, and somebody else can narrate it.
Well, hey, let me do this first. Does anybody have a WX resource?
I think mine. Well, so mine's kind of radar scope, but I just wanted to point out the correlation coefficient because I feel like not a lot of people know that. But
Let's do
Unless we
this.
wanna just mix the
Since I had one too, but just since we had a lot of weather fools,
that's
Yes.
great.
let's cut WX
just do
resources
Yep,
tonight.
yep.
We'll cut that. All right. So we'll go right from Weather Fools to Freak Fan Box MJ.
Yep.
And then I'll close it up. All right. And then Jamie, you get to find out what Weather Fools is, and you're now a co-host, so you can comment from the
Okay.
peanut gallery all you want.
Yeah.
I like it.
You can have fun with it.
Which means some of the liability is yours too. Just
That's right.
Naz, what is that under your? Is that your microphone?
it's my
Yes.
giant blue snowball.
Oh, wow. I've been the whole
Whoa.
show. I've been wondering what that thing was until now.
It's a big lollipop. He really likes. Yeah, he really likes lollipops. He always
Doesn't
has
look
one.
like a blue ball.
My little
Yeah.
kitty.
All right.
Whoa.
Here we go.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Fill her up.
All right.
Not sure what happened to the other one, but
Yeah.
All right, let's get
my.
going.
Okay.
Brady, you ready?
Great.
You're coming in 3, 2.
Woo! It's that time again. It's everyone's favorite part of the podcast. This is Weatherfuls. Now, for those of you who maybe it's your first time, maybe you're very forgetful, or maybe you just have never seen this segment, us as the freaks, we are going out on the internet. We're going out on the dark web, and we're looking for links. We're looking for videos. We're looking for anyone that did something silly or downright stupid in a weather-related scenario. Phil, who is your weather fool this
Cool.
week?
I'm starting off. Okay, so I got 4 of these bad boys. The first one, this is some of you TV meteorologists can probably relate to this a little bit. Rafael Miranda in New York. He was given the weather. If you can see this.
In front of you now, 54 degrees, and we have winds.
Whoa! And of course, there comes what he said on second thought as a pigeon popping into his weather video there in the background as he's giving the weather. So that's funny. Weather fool number 1. So the next one, I'm gonna pull this up. This next one is also pretty funny. If you're watching, it's not funny if you're not watching. So this was at Beach Mountain Ski Resort, and apparently one of the water pipes broke.
Oh no!
And it broke right over the ski lift, and they stopped the ski lift.
And
Like
there's
they
somebody
stopped
on
the
it?
ski lift, and these people are getting pelted by the busted water main. I mean, what What kind of fun is that? Anybody want to go skiing?
That is absolutely ridiculous. Why couldn't they just restart it for like a second? I mean, what?
It is so
the car
crazy.
wash extra?
That is awful.
You think they're going to ask for their money back, possibly? It's funny because there's another video of that same thing happening, and they started the ski lift and then stopped it again when the next chair went over it. So there's a whole another couple that fell with it too. All right, so this next one's kind of funny too, because she's okay. I'll say that up front. This was, where was this at? WSAZ television in West Virginia.
West Virginia, yeah.
And what happened here is she was reporting, the on-site news reporter was reporting on a water main break. You can see it's all wet in the background. It's at night and the street's all wet in the background. And she was reporting on this water main break. And if you watch, you'll see a car come up behind her and slip and knock right into the camera.
Got hit by a car, but I'm okay. I just got hit by a car, but I'm
I just got hit by a car, but I'm okay.
We're all good. I'm okay. Yeah, that's live TV for you.
Wow.
It's all good. I actually got hit by
And so you have to understand
I am so glad I'm okay.
the news anchor at the studio, he can only hear. He's not watching any of this.
He can't see it.
You know what?
So he has no idea really what's going on.
We're good, Tim. Ma'am, you are so sweet and you are okay.
But listen to her.
Oh, Lord.
So
it's my last week on the job, and I think this would happen.
So you were bumped
specifically to me, Tim.
Were you bumped down low, Tori, or were you hit up high? I couldn't really tell from the look of it.
I don't even. Do you know if I was bumped down low or up high? So I don't even know.
He's in shock.
My whole life just flashed before my eyes. But this is fine. Everything's okay. I thought I was in a safe.
Also, I
spot,
caught
clearly,
this wasn't her first time
Right.
hit by a car on live
Did she say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she said like it happened to her in college or something like that too. That she got hit in college.
We're talking
by
about a car accident, right?
Was that a freezing rain situation where the car was on ice or something?
No, I think she was reporting on a water main break.
Was it? Because they say severe weather alert. I thought it was.
Maybe that's what caused the weather break. Yeah, maybe it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Kind of the slow motion of the car made me think that.
But she had to do the camera and everything. There was nobody there to be like, get out of the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So then the last weatherful I've got comes from the Missouri State Police, who accidentally sent out an emergency alert to everybody's phone that had a Batman reference to it. It was like an accidental send, but it said emergency alert, Gotham City, Missouri, 1978 Dodge, and gives kind of a 3700 GT because the upcoming new Batman movie, the Batmobile, is a Dodge GT. So, but anyway, they accidentally sent that out. It was just going to be a test that they were doing. So everybody got that on their phone. So good stuff.
That is awesome.
Good stuff.
Wow. Well, Phil, those are going to be pretty hard to top. MJ, I know you have a couple. Let's see if you can top Phil's weatherfuls.
I'm going to give it a shot. So I bring them in from our viewers, right, and listeners. And Steve Collier sent this one in from Lake Powell, which is Utah, Arizona, and they're on a boat, and it's lightning and thundering all around them. But look at this storm start to roll in.
Oh my God!
Now, and again, they're just on the boat going, "Oh my gosh, look at this!" And you can hear thunder.
It's like a microburst.
Holy smoke!
And watch it. But
it looks like it.
You got to wait for this one because you really it builds, and you can see it coming, right? And I'll maybe fast forward. They start to get pelted with rain and maybe a little hail. And I'll move it forward just a little bit.
They're still taking selfies.
Oh my God!
Now here it comes in its full fury.
Oh my!
And they're laying on the bottom of the boat, holding on for dear life.
He's holding the inflatables down. Oh, look at that! A bunch of others just went flying out.
It's crazy.
Except somebody's still videoing.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of foolish activity on that one.
Man.
Yeah, I think that's.
So now Paige at Tornado Pagey sends us this one. There's a dude who is like he's boxing.
I've seen this one.
And yes, and he's boxing this tree. And meanwhile, look behind him. You see people running in. Why? There's a tsunami coming in.
Oh, yeah. There's no water. Wonder why the water's all out.
Yeah, these people are climbing up the bank, and he's like, "Whoa!"
no,
he's like Rocky.
This is not. This is not good.
Oh,
it does not end well for those folks.
Oh my gosh!
Do we know how it ended?
Yeah.
No, actually, we don't.
Look,
they actually have a warning on this one that says sensitive something and before you can view it. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they were able to post it, so someone must have made it.
Yeah, because somebody filming it had to have right. All right, so Randy Jennings sent this in. This is from my home state, and this is just a visual one. There's no video with this, but the Minnesota State Patrol tweeted out, storms are expected across the state today. If rain becomes too heavy to see, find an exit and drive to the nearest parking lot to ride out the storm. Good advice. But then they say, if you are unable to get to an exit, find the nearest overpass to park under in a safe location to ride out the storm.
Well, wait a minute. If it's just heavy rain, that's not a problem.
Well,
but still, though,
it causes a traffic jam.
Still bad.
Don't park under an overpass.
It's just heavy rain.
My own Minnesota State Patrol, weather fools. All right, and then finally, I have Josh Burnham, one of our friends, sent us this and says, actually, kind of impressed. And this is, of course, turn around, don't drown in the in the flooded street. But here comes a motorcycle surfing through surfing through the high water. Yep.
Oh my god!
So there you go. Those are
that's ridiculous.
Hey, you know what? I'm sure it all worked out for him. I'm sure his motorcycle didn't stop. Yeah.
I'm sure it was just fine.
All right.
That's all I got, Brad. Sorry.
Come on, Brad. Get that mic. Get that mic close to your mouth there, buddy.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying scoot back from my mic. Here, let me scoot a little closer. Greg, who's your weatherful this week?
Well, this one comes from Markham, Ontario, up here in Canada, and you're gonna see this dude's trudging through the snow, and it turns out he's trying to get a meal at a restaurant, and he realizes after going through all the snow that restaurant's closed.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I mean, that's a half a foot of snow easily.
Aww.
And so he walks away all dejected. This was posted
pretty nice
by
coat.
the Weather Channel.
A pretty nice coat.
That looks kind of BS. I'm going to call BS on that one, Greg.
Hey,
I call BS.
Weather Channel posted it.
I know. I was just in Utah, and it was like maybe 58 degrees. I had to walk 2 blocks, and I found out the restaurant was closed. So I know how he feels.
Oh, poor baby.
We all can relate to that. We all can relate to getting to a restaurant and it being close.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kim, go ahead. Greg, that was pretty awesome. Kim, go ahead. Who is your weatherful this week?
Oh, well, it's got to be Aunt Yvonne. So this video, I don't know where it's from, but it was posted today. So I'm thinking it's somewhere in the Midwest where we had a lot of ice. But in the video, it shows a car with branches over it, and it's definitely icing. It was from, the weight of the ice, broke the branch, came down the car, and this elderly woman, I think it's a woman, is out there checking it out, and then there's somebody videotaping this, like prompting them to keep looking and check to see if the windows are broken. And I'm thinking, it's still freezing rain. You could hear the rain falling, and
she's trying.
Look at this, and this older person is taking the big branch off the car.
But that's okay. I'll just stop and video this. I won't go help.
Yes,
well, this 80-year-old, yeah.
That's exactly right.
Oh,
and look at this. And meanwhile, there's trees everywhere still lining the area where they could fall right on this person. Anyway, that's my weatherful. That's it.
Oh, man.
Oh, Aunt Yvonne.
You don't send people out to in the ice storm.
There's 2 weatherfools in that. There's the woman cleaning up the trees, but then there's the person videoing.
I agree.
Yvonne, can you get my dry cleaning too while you're out there?
I don't know what that was.
Oh, well, guys, those are pretty great weather fools. I think I have the last weather fool here, and I actually don't know. I think Brady must have posted this because I don't really know what this is, but I think this is talking about in Ohio today. There were some people trying to drive around in a level 2 snow emergency.
Dude, what are we doing in this car? I'm going to Popeyes. No, we're not. There's a level 2 snow emergency in effect for Columbus, which means we shouldn't be on the roads. Hot chicken, what combo you picking? That's Cane's. KFC. Ducky in my tummy. That's not real. 10 and 2, choo. Well, I'm going. No, we're not going. Okay, fine. All right, let's go. Psych. Oh, God.
So I feel like I didn't know I was being recorded in that scenario, and Brady must have posted that. But I think we should not, level 2 snow emergencies. You generally shouldn't drive, as it was shown in the video.
So Jamie, what did you think about his editing on that?
Yes. I don't know if I'm on the inside. That kind of went over my head.
Yeah.
That makes 5 of us.
Yeah, no, it was
not an Emmy.
I don't really. None of us really get it either. But
So, Brad,
anyway,
I'm glad you learned something from that.
Yes.
The error in
Don't
your
drive
ways.
with level 2 snow emergencies. It'll be bad. But so guys, great weather fools today. We had a lot of good ones. If you want to check those out, go to stormfrontfreaks.com. Under the show notes section, look for show 150, or check it out on your favorite podcast app.
Very good. And I think Garrett corrected me on the Missouri State Police Batman vehicle. He said it was one of the cars in Tim Burton's Batman that the Joker's thugs drove in the chase scene, which makes more sense, right? That they're going after one of Joker's
It also
GTs.
proves that one of our Patreon members, Garrett, is a giant nerd.
In a
Because
good way.
you're not.
I love Batman. That's good.
Send me a postcard, drop me a line.
You've got mail, baby, yeah.
All right, MJ, what do we got in the fan freak box?
We got the fan freak box going today. P. Locola checked in, says, thanks for posting these interviews from the National Storm Chaser Summit. Especially interesting for those of us who could not attend in person. So glad you enjoyed those. Phil had some great interviews.
If you could hear them, audio was
event.
crap, but
yeah, we fixed it a little bit. So it was good.
You did. It was much worse before MJ had it.
We did the best we could. And then Kyle Lawler checked in with us on Twitter and says, a channel on TV has Twister, Into the Storm, and Day After Tomorrow on back-to-back repeated today.
No way.
Has potential to be a messy day if I decide to throw on the Stormfront Freaks movie commentary.
Right.
There you go.
Oh.
Hashtag cheers.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'll say this, Jamie. So we've done in the past, some of our episodes were movie commentaries. We all got together drinking, watching the movie together. So you can imagine what that was like. But we've done Twister, Into the Storm, and
Day
After Tomorrow. We did those 3. So how lucky will you be if we do a movie commentary on Supercell, which I guarantee you will happen.
I would be honored. That can I actually I wouldn't want to be on that comment.
Yeah, you would.
I won't be there. No. This movie sucks.
Is that a Dos Hombres day for all of us?
It's a Dos Hombres day for me, that's for sure.
Hey, it's an honor to be a Stormfront Freak movie that is commented on. Trust me, because we make up a drinking game with each of them too.
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
And we participate in the drinking game very heavily.
So that's what Kyle was referring to, was the fact that he'd be participating in the drinking games. So
yeah, love it.
So well, that's the Freak Fan Box. Thanks everybody for checking in. Keep posting to us. We love it.
That's awesome. Well, hey, think that just about does it for this episode of Stormfront Freaks podcast. We always want to thank everybody for listening and watching. But before I announce our next guest, if you do like the show, please don't forget to subscribe or to follow the Stormfront Freaks podcast What that does, it allows you to get notified the minute we release a new episode. It'll show up right in your podcast player inbox the moment that we go ahead and release that. You can also visit patreon.com/stormfrontfreaks, and you can check out all the ways we can do more with you and how you can also help support our show. That's how we kind of get along and are able to do the things we do. Whether you can join us in our live recordings, like a lot of our folks in the chat tonight, or you can actually join us raw on the video recording, get a chance to ask our guest questions. We also are giving away exclusive merch and everything else. Just go ahead and visit patreon.com/stormfrontfreaks to join the team. And as I always want to thank all our supporters. We love you guys and gals, and thanks for helping us out. Special thanks to our guest tonight, Jamie Winterstern. Jamie, thank you so much for joining the show. I know you're gonna be. You mentioned earlier that you were going to be speaking at a kind of a chaser show.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So it's March 5th. It's in Arlington. It's called it's the TESA conference. It's the Texas Severe Storm Association conference. It's a great place to just meet other storm chasers and learn more about the practice of storm chasing. And I'll be speaking at the event March 5th. So I'm very excited about it.
And what are you going to be talking about?
Probably the same stuff I talked about here.
We got it first.
Jamie, I wish did Tessa have a logo or anything?
Oh yeah.
He's wearing it.
I like it.
He's wearing it. Everything's bigger in Texas. Okay, well let's find out how people can follow you guys and get a hold of your content. Maz, I'll start with you.
It always takes me like 3 people to remember what mine is. It's at Money Storm for you. Thank you. Money
Storm for you. Yeah, go ahead and follow Maz. You'll probably get a post once every couple of months. It's really
if you're lucky.
If you're lucky. All right, Greg, how can people follow you and also your camera classes?
At Tornado Greg on social media, and cameraeasy.ca is the website.
Cool. How about you, Kim?
Twitter, which I'm rarely on anymore, but Kim Cunningham WX, and also my website, kimcunningham.com.
Are you on that anymore either?
Well, I check to see if I have anybody, sending me emails, but.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Checking it out. All right, Brad, we don't know a whole lot about you. How can people follow you?
Well, listen, I don't really have social media, but my counterpart Brady does, and he's on Instagram and TikTok. And he makes entertaining videos like the one you saw tonight. Instagram, Cebus_weather with Brady, and TikTok is Columbus weather with Brady. So check me out. I'm going to make more videos like that in the future.
Wow. Awesome. MJ, what about you?
At Mark Stormpod, I probably post less than Maz.
I don't think that's possible.
Exciting. We're not the most entertaining weather podcast for nothing, folks.
Exactly.
All right. Hey, on the next episode, we're going to be back in 2 weeks recording February 17th, and we're going to be celebrating Women in Science Day with the Weather Channel's Jen Carfagno is going to be back with us.
Nice.
Haven't had Jen on in a while. She's going to be coming back to the show. Patreon members, they can join the recording live. And the edited audio podcast is going to be available and up to everyone else the following Sunday as normal. So for Maz, Greg, Kim, Brad, MJ, and Jamie, and of course our VIPs, Garrett and Dan and Angela, I'm going to go ahead and signal the all clear. And we're going to go ahead and catch you guys next time. So good night, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.
Choose.
Well, so Jamie, here's the big question. Now that we're done, are you going to come back next time?
Don't do it.
I will say no. I there's so much more I want to talk about, and I know I can't because the movie's in post still. But when the movie gets delivered, which should be in May, and when we have a release date, which hopefully will be summer or fall, I think it'll be a lot more fun, and I could probably tell you a lot more fun stories about production and about the movie.
So you won't forget about us, and when it's closer to being released, and you'll jump on again.
Absolutely.
All right.
We got to promote the shit out of it.
He's got to get
That's
more
good.
logos.
We will. This is how it starts.
I'm gonna, like I said, I'm a NASCAR driver. I'm gonna put some more logos here.
There you go.
Hey, I'll send you a Stormfront Freaks hat. How's that sound?
Hey.
Yep.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, we'll do that.
A great storyline might be about a podcast about weather.
Ooh.
How that all came about.
You could put us on in the background. They could be listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast in the background.
And wondering, what the heck is that?
I guarantee we won't charge you more than the $5 million budget you got.
Hey, if you ever need a really cheap actor too, I hear Brad's working for hire too. $5 an hour, minimum wage.
Oh my God, he's gonna run everybody.
He's an extra.
We have to get him off that corner.
Oh God.
Does he come with the bandana and the glasses?
He does. Yes, he does. That's a little extra though.
Well, Jamie, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for your time tonight, and glad it worked out. And it was great talking to you. We definitely can't wait to see the movie, so looking forward
Excellent.
to it.
We can't wait,
Good job.
Jamie. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, way to go,
This
man.
is
All
so
right.
exciting. Honestly,
All right.
I swear, I'm excited that it's not CGI. I don't know about anybody
Me too.
else, but
No, me too.
I really am, because I thought Twister is a meteorologist. I looked at it and was like, my favorite is still the Wizard of Oz tornado. So,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
so anyway,
I like
I'm
real
very
footage.
excited.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
and raw
didn't
footage,
say
I mean-
this. I didn't say this on the show, but we actually went to Liberal, Kansas, and we filmed at the Dorothy statue.
Oh, no way.
Oh,
nice.
nice. Anyway, I'm excited.
Cool.
Thank you guys.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Jamie. I'll be in touch. I'll send you that hat.
Awesome.
You can NASCAR the fuck out of it.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
All right.
Thank
See
you.
you,
Bye,
Jamie.
guys.
Thanks.
Great job. Great job.
All right,
Probably
you
send a
guys.
bumper sticker or too.
Yeah. I'll
Are
send
we
them
still
some stuff.
live?
Yeah, we are.
We are.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Never
I will.
mind.
I'll-
Oh yeah.
With
no one
that-
knows.
With that,
Yeah,
good night, everybody.
wow.
Just happened.
Is that
there.